Jack Smith.
Apes. You fucking goddamn stupid ass apes. This is your best bud, Jack Smith. And I'm here to give my Oscar review, my annual Oscar review, because sometimes Jack Smith has to summarize things for his audience, because you may not have gotten a chance to watch the Oscars. And so Jack Smith is gonna distill it to its essence for you. So that's what Jack Smith does. He distills shit to its essence. Okay. Oscars. Didn't fucking watch it. But it was probably like a bunch of douchebags who don't do much but get paid huge amounts of money for it, giving each other awards for no real reason, and getting dressed up and gathering together to freak out, make a public freak out about their politics, which have not been going well for them this past year. And that leads me to the interesting phenomenon of, or the flip side of the 1950s we are at now. And it took a long time to flip around. It took all the way from the 60s until now. Although the 60s and the early 70s it almost became the flip side, but then the 80s kind of pulled us back a little bit. But recently, and I'm guessing it was very much in the past 8 years under Obama, the pop culture, the pendulum of pop culture swung way, way over to the left, way, way over to the left, so that, the people who believe everything they see on TV were totally sucked into, the best car is the Prius type of, thinking. And the problem with when you've got such enormous support from the populace. Shut the fuck up! Goddamn Fluffy thinks I'm talking to her again. I tried to get her on camera, but she fucking freaks out. When you have such overwhelming support from retards as Obama did, that means that you've got all the stupid people over on your side. And when you've got all the stupid people over on your side, and the whole modus operandi of your ideology is it is not based on who's the smartest or who's the best or anything like that. It's based on being fair, or performing fairness, defined by the number of people with a certain color skin, and regardless of their performance. And eventually you wind up with too many stupid people in charge of important areas of basically everything, especially the government. But you've got education and all these uh, unions, these run by liberals organizations, um, or subsets of organizations. And when you've got stupid people making the decisions, you got stupid people steering the boat. Um, Steering the boat not because they're the most qualified to steer the boat, but because it's just their turn because X number of people of a certain superficial description did not get a chance to drive the boat. Then you've got the boat going in kooky directions. Case in point, the feminist marches, which are not really feminist marches, they're just leftist marches um, that happen to have women in them. And, they're having the marches be organized by terrorists who, they've got their sweet spot in the bosom of higher education because they think it's cool. The educators, the administrators think it's cool to have people like Bill Ayers teaching at your school, or that fake Indian guy out in I guess it was Colorado, or Elizabeth Warren, who's not really a terrorist, but it's that level of we don't even really care about anything other than the shock value of this person's history. Um, so, yeah, the left now has uh, terrorists organizing these major marches against the president for completely amorphous and ill-defined reasons, uh, protesting stuff that is not actually happening yet, but stuff that may happen at some point in the future. That's not a real protest. It's almost like on the other side, these retards who were protesting the Oscars because the Oscars were going to be political. Don't protest the fucking Oscars. Ignore the fucking Oscars. Follow Jack Smith's example of not giving a shit about something that nobody in their right mind should give a shit about anyway. I mean, unless you're in some kind of industry that's related to it and whatever. But if you're just a normal human, that shit is of absolutely no importance, unless you want to gloat over their frustration about, the election, which that's understandable. I mean, seeing Meryl Streep suffer for a couple minutes before she goes back to suffer in her giant mansion, I don't know. Just not seeing these people at all would be better. But yeah. So what was I saying? What was I doing? I don't even know. Totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So having more stupid people running everything is, I don't know where it's going to go. It's going to be very interesting where it goes if you have, uh, you know, terrorists running your protest marches, and of course the media won't talk about that. But Jack Smith is the media now. We took over the internet, though controlled by leftists, is in the hands of everybody. And common sense about stuff is now the domain of the centrists, neither the religious idiots or the radical communists. The people in the center, the people who actually, um, you know, put the orange man in the White House. Um, so yeah, uh, I'm tired. So yeah, Oscars. In summary, Oscars. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? Um, and yeah, there was something else, but I don't have time. All right, Jack Smith out.